Khubani to the lectern. Haji Khubani graduated from Montclair State in 1984 with a BS in management. Mr. Khubani founded Telebrands Corporation in 1983 on a shoestring with his life savings of $20,000. This year, Telebrands is celebrating its 30th anniversary in business and is thriving as a nearly $1 billion marketing giant, well known for such hit products as Pet Egg, Organic, Pocket Hose, Aero Knife, Rabbit TV, Instaball, Who Knew, Great Kitchen Secrets, and many more. In 2009, Telebrands received 2 Vendor of the Year awards from both Target stores and CVS Pharmacy. Bake Pop by Telebrands was presented with the 2012 Electronic Retailing Association's Moxie Award. Mr. Khubani has become a media regular with a multitude of appearances on ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, CNBC, Fox News, The Today Show, The Wendy Williams Show, 2020, The View, and Montclair State University. On behalf of the university, I present to you the 2014 School of Business Distinguished Alumni Award.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Dr. Cole, thank you for that wonderful introduction. So good afternoon, everybody. First of all, I'm proud to be born and raised in the great state of New Jersey and in Montclair State graduate. And congratulations to each and every one of you today. You've made your friends and family very proud. First, to start off, I'd like to see a show of hands. How many of you have been told over the past 4 years, you should enjoy these years? These are the best years of your life. How many? Wow, that's almost everybody. All right, I remember being told the very same thing. I was wondering why would they ask that? Is it really all downhill from here? It's kind of depressing if you think about it, right? Well, after 30 years of being in business, I know the answer. And the answer is, just as in your past 22 years, life is what you make of it. The rest of your life can be amazing or it can be miserable. The good news is that it's up to you. Over my own lifetime, I've married an incredible woman, I have 3 amazing children, and become a millionaire many times over. But on the other hand, I've gone broke 3 times. I had the bank foreclose on our dream house that we spent years planning and building. And I've even had someone attempt a murder on my life. But everyone has their ups and downs, right? The difference between amazing and miserable, is the ability to handle both the ups and the downs and handle them well. Whether you're up or you're down, you just got to handle it the best that you can, and your life will be amazing. Now, enough philosophy. Let's move on to a couple of questions that people ask me all the time. Whenever I meet college students, they ask me 2 things. And how did you start a billion-dollar company with just $20,000? And the other question is, what advice can you tell me to do the same thing? So here you go. While I was attending Montclair, I had 2 jobs that helped pay my tuition of $400 a semester. I know it sounds a little high. And also put some money away for savings. One job was bartending, the other one was making pizza. Pretty common jobs. But as I was approaching my senior year, I was wondering, well, what should I do now? I have other aspirations. And the real motivation for me at that time was I really want to buy a brand new Corvette, because that was the hottest car at the time. So I needed to make some serious money. It was the early 1980s and the job market was terrible. The unemployment rate was nearly 11%. It was really tough to find a decent job. And it's similar to your situation today, right? It's pretty tough to find a job out there. So I was wondering, what am I going to do? But during college, I was frugal enough, and so my friends called me cheap. I was able to save $20,000 while I was in college. And since I couldn't find a decent job, I decided that I'd use that cash to find some business that I could invest in. And I thought about all the possibilities out there. And my first thought, the hottest franchise at the time was McDonald's. It's growing fast and it's making a lot of money. So I called McDonald's, actually made a phone call. We didn't have internet back then, so I couldn't look it up online. I called them up and they sent me some literature. They told me on the phone the franchise fee is $500,000. And by the way, you have to find the land and pay for building the restaurant. So that was definitely out of the equation. So I looked at something more humble, and I thought about, what about a taxi cab? You know, can I buy a taxi cab? Well, I looked into that, and the cost of a taxi cab medallion was $25,000. You guys know what a taxi cab medallion is? It's the sort of ornament they put on the hood, and you have to pay that assures that you're a licensed taxi cab driver. Today, those medallions sell for $1 million each, if you can believe it. But the cost of that, $25,000 plus the cost of a new taxi cab back then was $10,000, $35,000. I said, well, that's almost close to what I have. I asked my parents for the balance of the money, and they looked at me like I was crazy. Like, what? You want to spend $35,000 to drive a cab? Are you crazy? So that wasn't going to happen. So where did the idea finally come from? Well, I was on my way to school one day, and I stopped at this corner store every day to buy a cup of coffee for 50 cents. And I saw the headline of the National Enquirer caught my attention, that corner store. I'm not usually a reader of tabloids, but this caught my attention. So I picked it up, stuck it in my bag, went to school that day, and started to thumb through it at lunch, during lunch. And the thing that caught my attention more than the headline and more than the articles was all the mail order ads in the magazine. And they're selling everything from $10 digital watches to something called the Bullworker that would get you fit in 15 minutes a day. And I found those ads really intriguing. And it occurred to me that with all these ads in the magazine, this must be a good business. People wouldn't spend all this money placing ads if they weren't making money. So I got the idea. I called the National Enquirer again. I had to call them on the phone because that's the way we communicated back then. And they sent me the literature, and I saw that they had 5 million readers every single week, and that got my attention. 5 million readers. The cost of the ad was pretty expensive. It was $7,000, but I thought, boy, 5 million readers, if I could get just 10% response rate, I could get 500,000 orders. I could get 500,000 checks in the mail. So I started to dream about that. I said, all I really need is to come up with a great product and write a great ad, right? It's pretty simple. So I was looking around for a product, and I look around the campus, and I see that the most popular gadget on campus those days is the Sony Walkman. Everybody's walking around with these stereo headphones, and it's an AM/FM radio, so people could listen to their favorite TV station. And I thought, well, that's it. It's just an AM/FM radio with headphones. I don't know why people are buying these things, but they are. It's the hottest product of the time. They're selling for $60 a piece, and I knew that you could buy an AM/FM radio at the big retail chain at the time, Two Guys stores. I was selling them for $10. So I thought, well, here's an opportunity. I'll compete with Sony Corporation. So I found a pocket radio I could sell. I wrote an ad, and I bought $10,000 worth of inventory. I placed the ad. The ad was going to run on May 17th of that year, the same week I was graduating from Montclair, and I thought, man, I have it made. I placed the ad. I bought the inventory. Next few weeks I'm going to be a millionaire. Well, what do you think happened? It turned out I didn't become a millionaire right away. In fact, I didn't make any at all on that ad, and I was fortunate enough just to break even. But I'll tell you, I was hooked on the business. The fact that I could write an ad and get people to send me checks in the mail was just amazing. And the fact that I broke even on my first ad really got me inspired, because now I had my $20,000 back, and I was ready to try it again. So fast forward a year and a half later, I come up with a product called Happy Feet Massage Slippers and start making a profit. And from there, we expanded onto TV, into every major retail chain in the country, and we now sell our products in 100 countries around the world. So it's been quite a remarkable ride. So, what advice do I have after being in business for 30 years? First of all, for your careers. You need to have passion. Passion is critical. Choose a career that you will absolutely be passionate about. Dr. Cole does an incredible job at this university because she loves her job. That's why. No one more passionate than Dr. Cole. You will never be great at anything unless you absolutely love it. Hard work. There's a famous quote by Kevin Durant. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. It's true. I'm a perfect example of that. I'm a hard worker. Have integrity. Your reputation will follow you your entire life. And for your personal life, your mind and body are all that you have. Think about it, your mind and your body. You need to take care of that. Education is a lifelong process. Just because you graduated college doesn't mean you should stop learning. Learn something valuable every day. Keep on learning your entire lives. Exercise. I know you've heard this a million times. Exercise at least 30 minutes every day. Find the time. People always say, I don't have time. Find the time. Your health is very important. And final piece of advice about your life partner. Choose wisely. My wife of 29 years is the most amazing part of my life. So, were these the best 4 years of your life? Or is every year going to be more amazing than the last? You get to choose. My advice, choose amazing. Thank you.
One of the many privileges of being Dean here is the opportunity to engage with some of our extraordinary graduates, and you get a sense of why it is such a treat for us to have AJ, such a close colleague and friend. Thank you, Mr. Khubani, for those inspiring words. The senior address